One of the things we love to do as a family is get to know our neighbors. We love to be in a relationship with our neighbors. We love it when we can share things and, somebody needs something, they can come over here, we can go over there. We love to get to know our community. And I remember one of my neighbors was walking by one time and we were talking about hunting in Alaska, and I've been taking my daughter out on some hunting trips and doing some shooting. And he said, you know what? I have a little rifle I'd love to give you. And so he gave me a .22 rifle and he said, hey, take this out, let your daughter shoot it, and that can be her rifle when she gets old enough. And I just thought that was awesome. What a significant gesture of my neighbor to be willing to give that to us. And so a few weeks passed and months passed, and I actually ran into the neighbor at the grocery store. And we got chatting a little bit, and he said, hey, did you ever shoot the rifle? And what I knew in my mind was that we'd put it into the gun safe and it had never been touched. And so I kind of hemmed and hawed for a moment, and I said, no, we haven't gotten it out yet. And I just saw the disappointment in his eyes. The idea that we haven't even used or touched the thing that he gave to us to enjoy. One of the things I want to talk about here for just a minute, in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 22, it says, and he put all things under his feet and gave him as head over all things to the church, that's being Jesus, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills all in all. So Jesus is the head of the church. He gives guidance to the church, and ultimately he is the vision of what the church is intended to be. Now, you and I have gifts and we have abilities, and we're talking about that a little bit this week, that God gives us gifts that were intended to be used for his kingdom. Now, a lot of times when we find out what God wants us to do with our gifts, we can respond to it in two different ways. The first response is that we can just mourn the loss of control. We all want to control our own destinies and our own lifestyles and what we do with what we have. And when we find out that God has other plans than what we have, it can be kind of frustrating, and we can even grieve that and then reject the best that God has for us. The second response is this: we can live in celebration that we get to be part of God's plan for his kingdom to come to earth just as it is in heaven. And so I want you to just think this week, when it comes to what you have, what God has given you, are you grieving or are you celebrating? Are you mourning and grieving the loss of control, thinking still that if you were to live the way that you wanted to live or act the way that you wanted to act, you would find the most joy in that place? Or are you celebrating that God has given you some gifts to be leveraged for his kingdom and for the betterment of the people around you? And what a great opportunity he's given us to be part of a bigger plan and a bigger mission than simply something about ourselves. And so once again, are you grieving or are you celebrating today? I encourage you to go and celebrate what God is doing in your life and go be used by him today.